Hey guys, what's up? How are you doing? Welcome to my channel. And today we are going to discuss phishing attack. What is a phishing attack? And we will try to examine certain examples, certain scams in order to educate ourselves better, to make ourselves and our loved ones aware about how they work and maybe uh, avoid some disastrous financial losses, mental agony in the process, right? So let's get on with it, right? So we will start with a definition of what is a phishing attack. Phishing is a form of cybercrime where attackers impersonate trusted entities to trick individuals into revealing sensitive information, such as login credentials, credit card details, or personal data. It is one of the most common forms of online fraud and is responsible for billions of dollars in losses annually. Attackers use various methods to execute phishing attacks, including emails, phone calls, fake websites, and even social engineering tactics. The ultimate goal is to deceive the victim into taking an action that benefits the attacker, such as clicking a malicious link, downloading malware, or providing confidential details, right? So that's a definition in gist. So I mean, we can understand that it's bad, and there is a lot of ways we can continue defining it, right? So you can ask a lot. There can be numerous ways of defining it, right? But all we need to understand is something bad, and it's an attempt to steal our information. It's a digital attack, right? So let's understand what they are and how they work, right? So let's start with the ninth example here, getting straight into the things, right? Malware-based phishing, dangerous attachments. What is it? Malware-based phishing involves hackers sending email attachments that appear to be harmless, such as invoices, resumes, or important documents. Once opened, these attachments install malware on the victim's system. The malware can steal sensitive data, damage files, or lock them, which is ransomware, demanding payment for their release. You receive an email from a trusted supplier with an attachment titled invoice, right? PDF. We have all got those emails, right? We know the format, right? When you open the attachment, it installs spyware on your computer that records your keystrokes and steals your login credentials. In some cases, ransomware could encrypt your files and demand a ransom for their decryption. How to stay safe? Never open unexpected email attachments, even if they appear to be from trusted sources. Use antivirus software to scan files before opening them. Regularly back up important data to mitigate the damage caused by ransomware, right? So, what is ransomware? That's a topic of that's a complete video in itself. But I know people who have been at the receiving end of ransomware, right? So they kind of, I mean, your data is at their mercy. They say that they can do anything to your computer, to your device, and they demand a certain amount of money. You pay them money, and they say they will unlock the system, right? Uh, yeah, it's dangerous, right? It's dangerous, especially people who have a lot to lose and people who have a lot at stake, right? So they end up being scammed like this, right? So the idea is this is a malicious attachment. Even PDF files, .doc files, innocent looking files can be coded, programmed by hackers, by scammers to behave as bad actors, right? So how to be careful? Well, a lot of email softwares like Gmail, or I use Gmail, and I'm assuming even Yahoo or whatever mail provider is in vogue these days besides Gmail, they already have a lot of filtering process wherein they scan all these attachments and a lot of warning systems in place. However, you still can't be careful enough because these people, these attackers, they keep on devising new ways to come up with uh, ways to attack us, right? And and it can happen any day, right? And besides Gmail, if you're not using Gmail, especially if you are in corporate or if your emails are managed by someone else, right? It can be a tricky situation. So it's important to pay extreme attention to this particular malware-based phishing. Okay, I can maybe I'll make another video in which I can go deeper into this. But for the time being, for this particular video, we will move on to the next one. Right, man in the middle, MITM phishing overview. In man in the middle phishing, I think it's also called evil twin phishing. Attackers intercept communication between a user and a legitimate website to steal credentials or modify transactions. For example, a hacker sets up a fake Wi-Fi network in a coffee shop named Free Coffee Wi-Fi. When users connect, the attacker captures their online banking credentials when they attempt to log in. Prevention tip: avoid using public Wi-Fi for sensitive transaction. Use VPNs to encrypt internet traffic. Enable multi-factor authentication to add security layers. Okay. So what this one is, uh, imagine you are at an airport or a coffee shop, right? And you are desperate, right? I've been in that situation. I'm in a transit and I'm just looking for a Wi-Fi to do something because the network is not working, and I don't have a SIM card for that country. So what you end up doing, you look for a free Wi-Fi, you get a Wi-Fi, you connect on it, and you try to do some stuff. Now, what this Wi-Fi can be a dummy, a fake, a clone, a attack Wi-Fi, right? This can be a coffee shop, this can be any public place. And once you log into Wi-Fi, it does give you internet access. However, that internet access is going via bad actors, right? It is going via people who are trying to hack or people who are trying to do damage to us, right? So once we latch onto that network and log in into our systems, into our emails or into our banks or any kind of sensitive transactional information that we move through uh, that network, right? So these bad actors can then kind of track and hack into that information and use it for digital frauds or data theft or transferring money or I mean, n number of possibilities, right? Let me not get into the bad stuff. All right. So this is pretty much clear that we have to be very careful when we are using public Wi-Fi. So do not do any sensitive transactions and probably maybe use VPNs. So I'm not sure, but then I'll also try and see, I'll educate myself more about the issue here, right? All right. So moving on to the next one, clone phishing. All right. So what does it mean, right? In clone phishing, attackers copy a legitimate email and resend it with a malicious attachment or link. This makes it appear as though the message is a genuine follow-up. A user receives an email from the IT department stating, "Here the updated report you requested." The email looks identical to a previous legitimate email, but the attachment contains malware. Prevention tips: double check unexpected email attachments. Contact the sender directly to confirm the authenticity of a message. Keep security software updated to detect malicious software. Okay, so what this is now getting into a combination of things, right? They can send you a email which sounds very comfortable, very uh usual, right? Nothing out of the ordinary, like a follow-up email to an earlier email, which you would not think twice before opening, like a report.pdf or anything like that. And like we discussed in previous malware section, right? This can install bad software on your systems, which can do, which can steal stuff from you, right? So if you have any kind of doubt, it is important to keep a very close eye on what kind of email attachments we are opening. And probably if there's a slight doubt about it, we can connect with the person who we are expecting the report or the document or the invoice from and see if they have actually sent it, right? And of course, keeping your security software updated in case you are not using Gmail, or even if you are using Gmail and you are downloading the attachments on your system, whatever the security software you are using, to keep it updated is important, right? So that's what it says about clone phishing. Next, we are going to phishing. This was very interesting for me because QR code and payments through QR code are very, very common in India. And I do several of these payments on a daily basis. So phishing is a newer form of phishing that uses QR codes to deceive users into visiting malicious websites or downloading malware. Example, a hacker places a fake QR code on a restaurant's table. When a customer scans it, they're directed to a fake payment website that steals their credit card details. Be cautious when scanning QR codes from untrusted sources. Check URLs before entering sensitive information. Using security apps that scan QR codes for threats. Okay, so this is what AI says. So for me, this is something of a learning as well, because in India, I wherever you go, you pay by QR. And this is a more sophisticated example. Now you are dining in a restaurant and you see a QR scanner code somewhere. You scan it and you try to make a payment. And what they're saying is that the QR code itself can be a fake, and it can take you to a website which might look like the website of the establishment, but it can just be a attempt to steal your information or your money, right? So we have to be careful about the QR codes these days because they are as malicious as links, and a lot can be hiding behind them. And because the links anyhow look weird when we use QR codes, right? So it's easy to get confused. So please be very careful when using anything via QR code. Uh, to whom you are paying, to what you are paying, or what link you are using, and what kind of information you are sharing when you are using that QR code, right? Now, next move on to the next one, which is phishing, which is voice phishing. I think I talked about it in another video. Uh, Phishing is phishing conducted over phone calls where attackers impersonate legitimate organizations or authorities to extract sensitive information from their victim. Example, a person receives a call from someone claiming to be from the IRS. He says, you have unpaid taxes, and if you don't pay immediately, a warrant will be issued for your arrest. Please provide your social security number and credit card to resolve this issue. Fearful of legal trouble, the victim provides their information, which is then used for identity theft. Prevention tips: never provide personal information over phone unless you initiated the call. Verify caller's identity by contacting the organization directly. Be wary of high pressure tactics demanding immediate actions, right? So I think you see that there is a video that I did yesterday about digital arrest, right? It's a very common scam in India these days. So it is something like that, you know. Uh, they create an urgency. It can be IRS, which is like revenue service for US people, and for India, it can be tax department or any government authority. And they will call you and they'll accuse you of something that you have done wrong, and they might ask you for a payment to resolve the issue or a bribe to settle it down or something like that, right? And when you try to do it online, and that is when you go deeper into the scam, wherein you are now sharing your actual credentials and details and your identity to these people, right? And you never know what it can be used for. So, and yes, with the advent of AI, which I mentioned, which I have talked about in my other video, now cloning voices of your loved ones, of any official, is very, very easy, right? So I don't know what to do. Just all I know right now is how to spread information, and hopefully this would help avoid some scams, right? Let's move on to the next one here: smishing, which is SMS phishing. Smishing involves sending fraudulent messages via SMS to deceive users into clicking on malicious links or providing personal information. Example, A user receives a text from an unknown number claiming to be their bank. Your account has been locked due to suspicious activity. Click on this link to verify your details, and then you would have a URL, for example fake bank or whatever login. If the user clicks the link and enters their credential, the attacker gains access to their bank account. Prevention tips: avoid clicking on links in unsolicited text messages. Contact your bank directly if you receive suspicious messages. Use spam filters and report phishing attempts. So again, the idea is similar. You get a link which takes you to a fake site. The link, it starts with the fake link as well. I have done an entire video on how to identify fake links like this one and emails. You can check that on my channel, right? So watch that video and see how to, for example, I'll give you another example here to be very simple. In India, we have something called hdfcbank.com, right? It is a very popular bank, and all the transactions that are supposed to come from HDFC Bank should be from hdfcbank.com. Now imagine I buy a domain called securebanking.com or securebanking.in, a very secure sounding domain which anyone can buy for 500 or 1000 rupees, right? $10 maybe. Now that domain, I can put any subdomain in front of that domain, right? So no one can stop me from making hdfcbank.securebanking.in, right? That would be my property. I can just make that subdomain on that, host a page with a duplicate HDFC logo and whatever, and send that link to you and tell you that you to share your login details to try and log in. And once you try and log into that page, all your login credentials are with me, which I can then use to log into your real account and then, do what, right? So be careful. Again, I don't know what to do, but to spread information, right? So now you know what you need to know, right? These things happen. So this is how the links work. This one probably is, I'm gonna give another example in the next one, right? Okay, whaling. What is whaling? Whaling is a form of spear fishing. It's a deeper fishing. It's big fish that specifically targets high profile individuals such as executives, government officials, or wealthy individuals. Since since these targets have access to sensitive data and large financial resources, the attacks are meticulously crafted. Example: a CEO receives an email appearing to be from a legal firm stating, "You are involved in a lawsuit. Please review the attached legal documents and respond immediately." The attachment contains malware and gives attacker access to companies' confidential data, right? So prevention tips: train executives to recognize sophisticated phishing attempts, use strict access controls and email authentication protocols, verify requests for sensitive actions through secure channels. So what is happening here is, uh, imagine a database of high profile individuals, right? They are very easily available in the market, a list of people who all are CEOs. Probably what these people are gonna do is they're gonna send a bulk email with the malware to all those people and wait for someone to fall prey to that particular email. And once someone ends up clicking that email, the that company's kind of confidential data, or hit that CEOs or that bosses computers confidential data, which of course would have a lot of company data, is going to the hackers or scammers or attackers in this case, right? So again, be careful about this one, guys. This is more targeted if you are a high profile individual, a CEO, or someone who is responsible for a lot of stuff, right? This is beyond your personal data. Spear phishing. Number two, spear phishing is a highly targeted attack where criminals research their victims and send customized phishing messages that appear personal and credible. This technique is often used to target executives, employees, uh, employees of specific organizations, or individuals with access to valuable data. For example, CFO of a company receives an email that appears to be from the CEO, instructing them to process an urgent wire transfer. Hi, John, please process a wire transfer of $50,000 to our new supplier ASAP. I'll explain later. Thanks. Since the email appears from a trusted superior, the victim is more likely to comply. Prevention tips: very urgent request through a secondary communication channel, example, phone call. Verify urgent request, actually, not very. Educate employees about spear phishing tactics. Use email security tools that detect impersonation attempts. I'm not sure what security tools can detect impersonation attempts, but yeah, you can get an email from someone pretending to be someone else and, asking you to do something which might have implications worth $50,000 or more, right? All right, so moving on to the most common phishing attack, email phishing, right? The number one, deceptive phishing. Email phishing is the most common type of phishing attack. Cyber criminals send fraudulent emails that appear to be from legitimate organizations such as banks, e-commerce platforms, or government agencies. These emails often contain links to fake websites designed to steal user credentials. Example, a user receives an email of what looks like PayPal stating your account has been compromised. Click the link below to verify your details immediately. The link directs the user to a fake PayPal login page that captures their credentials and sends them to the attacker. Prevention tips: always check the sender's email address carefully. Hover over links to inspect the actual URL before clicking. Avoid providing sensitive information via email. Okay, guys, so most of the times when I mean, if I get the email, I'll panic, right? And as I've mentioned in other videos, panic is what these people are looking for, right? So I think the only thing that we have to learn immediately is that whenever we are uh, getting such emails, right, we have to be extremely careful about what we are doing in such situations. For example, if I am trying to do a transaction and I do something wrong and I get an email, I know it was me, so I would not panic. However, if I'm sleeping in the night and I get an email that my account has been compromised and something is happening, I might panic, right? But the point of this education is that do not panic, do not do anything in a jiffy right there and then. That is what these people want you to do, right? To lose your mind and do stupid stuff, because there are chances that the email can be fake, and once you click on something to reset your password or to confirm your credentials or to do something, you might end up losing your information, getting deeper into the real scam, right? While that was just a false alert. You should watch some of my other videos, how to avoid some online scams and how to identify fake emails and everything, right? To better understand the situation. However, so this example says PayPal, but this can be from Netflix, this can be from Amazon, this can be from HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, Wells Fargo, or anything, right? And the n number of ways fake emails and fake domains can be done. Fake pages are simple, right? But they go deeper than that, right? So do watch some of the other videos to get better understanding of these things, right? So yeah, those were the 9 things that I wanted to share, right? Conclusion: phishing is a constantly evolving cyber threat that exploits human psychology and trust to deceive victims. Understanding the various types of phishing attacks and recognizing the warning signs can help individuals and businesses protect themselves from falling victim to these scams, right? So key takeaways for protection: think before you click, always verify links before clicking, check email senders, look for slight misspellings in sender addresses, use multi-factor authentication, adds an extra layer of security, stay informed, keep up with the new phishing techniques and educate yourself regularly, report these messages inform your IT department or service provider. Well, by following these practices, you can significantly reduce the risk of falling victim to these phishing scams. Stay vigilant. All right, guys. So that's probably about it for this video. Make sure you share it with people who needs to be educated, people who are not so savvy digitally, people who are coming up the digital curve, so that those people also understand what they are getting into. Because as the time goes by, I have a feeling that these things are uh, gonna be a bigger problem, right? Anyhow, we will deal with it as they come. Thank you so much for the time being, and hope this session was helpful to some of you. Have a great day ahead. Bye bye.